Everyone at the park heard the scream, but no one moved. A woman in a wheelchair sat trembling beside her art supplies, tears streaking down her cheeks. While three wealthy college kids circled her like predators, they mocked her disability. They ripped her artwork, and when her loyal K9 service dog, Riley, tried to protect her, one of the boys laughed and kicked the dog so hard that Riley hit the ground, whimpering in pain. People gasped but stayed frozen. Phones recorded, but no one helped. Riley whimpered, struggling to stand. The woman begged, "Please, stop, he's all I have." Tears streamed down her face as she pleaded, "Please, stop hurting him." Then one of the boys raised his foot for another kick, but before it landed, a voice thundered across the park, "Step away from the dog." Now, a police officer sprinted toward them, and what happened next shocked everyone watching. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. The park was unusually peaceful that morning. Sunlight filtered through the trees, warm enough to soften the breeze, but gentle enough to keep the world calm. Emily Carter wheeled herself beneath her favorite oak tree, a small smile crossing her face as she set her sketchbook on her lap. Beside her, her loyal K9 service dog, Riley, lay in the grass, ears alert, eyes warm, tail thumping softly. Riley was more than a dog. He was Emily's strength when her muscles failed, her balance when her hands shook, and her courage when the world grew overwhelming. As Emily dipped her brush into watercolor, the moment felt perfect. Parents pushed strollers, kids played tag, joggers passed with polite nods. For a brief moment, Emily felt invisible in the best way, just another person enjoying the day. But peace, she knew, was fragile, and it shattered far too easily. That a burst of laughter erupted nearby, loud, mocking, careless. Emily looked up as three wealthy college boys strutted toward her. Designer clothes, smug smiles, and the kind of confidence that came from never facing consequences. "Hey," one of them sneered. "Nice wheels." Emily stiffened. Riley rose quickly, stepping in front of her, a low rumble vibrating in his chest. The boys exchanged amused glances. The sun was still shining, but Emily felt the day grow suddenly darker. The tallest boy smirked and leaned over Emily's sketchbook. "What's this?" he mocked. "Finger painting for cripples?" Emily's breath hitched. Her hands trembled on the wheels of her chair. "Please," she whispered, "just leave me alone." But bullies smelled fear the way wolves smelled blood. And they weren't done. One boy snatched her watercolor palette and flung it across the grass. Another tipped over her pencil cup, scattering brushes and charcoal sticks into the dirt. "Stop," Emily cried, reaching for her supplies. But the third boy pushed her wheelchair back roughly, laughing as she struggled to regain balance. Riley barked and stepped in front of her, teeth bared now. The boys froze for a second, but arrogance returned quickly. "Ah, look," the tallest one said, her little mutts trying to be tough. Riley growled louder, hackles rising. To him, Emily wasn't just his handler. She was his entire world. "Shut the dog up." Another boy snapped, raising his foot. Emily gasped, "Don't you dare touch him." But the boy didn't stop. He swung his leg and kicked Riley hard in the ribs, knocking the dog sideways into the grass. Riley yelped, a sound so sharp it cut straight through Emily's heart. She screamed for help, tears streaming down her face. But the people around them only watched, frozen, unsure, scared. And the boys weren't finished. "Let's teach her and her mutt a lesson," one said. They closed in on her, and Emily realized no one was coming. The tallest boy lifted his foot again, aiming straight for Riley's already bruised ribs. Emily threw herself forward in her wheelchair, arms outstretched, voice cracking. "Stop, please." But her pleas only fueled their cruelty. The boys laughed, enjoying the spectacle, enjoying her fear. Dozens of park visitors watched, horrified but unmoving. Phones were out. Not courage. The boy's foot swung back, and then a voice tore through the park like a thunderclap. "Step away from her." Now, everyone turned. Officer Mark Jensen was sprinting across the grass, badge flashing, jaw clenched, fury radiating from every step. His boots tore into the ground, and behind him, the tension in the air snapped like a wire. The boys froze, just long enough for Riley to scramble behind the officer. Pressing against his leg, trembling, Emily gasped with relief. Clutching her stomach as tears continued to fall, Mark approached. Posture tall, unshakable, dangerous in the way only a trained officer could be. "What exactly do you think you're doing?" he demanded. The tallest boy scoffed. "Relax, man. We're just messing around." "Messing around?" Mark repeated, eyes darkening. "She's in a wheelchair. That is a service dog. And what you're doing is assault." The boys exchanged uneasy looks, their confidence cracking. Mark stepped closer. "IDs. All of you. Now." They hesitated. Then one smirked. "You know who our parents are? We don't have to give you." Mark cut him off sharply. "You have 5 seconds before I place every one of you under arrest." The park fell silent. For the first time, the boys realized their entitlement wasn't going to save them today. Officer Mark Jensen didn't flinch as the 3 boys shifted nervously under his stare. "IDs. Now," he repeated, voice low and razor-sharp. Reluctantly, they handed them over. Mark glanced at the names, each one tied to some of the wealthiest families in the city. It explained their arrogance. But it wouldn't protect them. He knelt beside Emily. Her hands trembled violently, her breathing shallow. "Miss, are you hurt?" he asked gently. Emily shook her head but pointed at Riley. He kicked him. Twice. Please help him. Riley whimpered as Mark examined his side, flinching when touched. Injury. Pain. Trauma. Mark's expression hardened like stone. Then a voice rose from behind them. "I recorded everything," a woman shouted, stepping forward with her phone raised. "And so did I," another man called out. Suddenly, dozens of witnesses gathered, phones in hand, all showing video after video of the boys harassing Emily, shoving her wheelchair, kicking Riley, tearing her art apart. Mark pressed play on one recording, jaw tightening as the cruelty played out in clear detail. "This is assault," he said finally. "Cruelty to a service animal. Harassment of a disabled person. Theft. Destruction of property." The boys paled. "We didn't mean, save it," Mark snapped. "You're not walking away from this." One boy tried to step back, but Mark raised a hand. "Move again, and I'll add resisting." Emily watched through tears as the truth finally surfaced, and the power the boys once held crumbled in their hands. Backup arrived within minutes. 2 patrol cars sliding to a stop on the park road as officers stepped out, hands resting on their belts, faces already tense from the radio call. Officer Mark Jensen motioned toward the 3 boys. "These 3 are being detained for assault, harassment, and cruelty to a service animal." The boys stiffened. "You can't arrest us." One shouted, "Do you know who my father is?" Mark didn't blink. "I don't care if your father is the mayor. You laid hands on a disabled woman and injured a trained K9. One boy's voice cracked. "This is a misunderstanding." Mark held up a phone with the recorded footage playing, Emily sobbing, Riley being kicked, the boys laughing. "A misunderstanding?" Mark repeated coldly. "Looks clear to me." As officers cuffed the boys, 3 luxury cars screeched to a stop nearby. Wealthy parents stormed out, furious, pointing fingers at Mark. "You can't treat our sons like criminals." Mark stepped forward, calm but unbreakable. "They are criminals. And here's the proof." He showed them the video. The parents' rage dissolved into stunned silence, faces turning pale. Emily cried softly, holding Riley's head in her lap as Mark knelt beside them. "He's going to be okay," he said gently. "I've already called the K9 vet clinic." Emily's voice broke. "Thank you. You saved us." Mark placed a reassuring hand on Riley's fur. "No," he said. "He saved you. I just did my job." 2 weeks later, the park looked different. Not because the trees had changed or the weather had shifted, but because Emily returned with something she hadn't felt in a long time. Safety. Riley trotted beside her wheelchair, tail wagging proudly, fully healed after the vet's care. And walking beside them was Officer Mark Jensen, hands in his pockets, offering quiet company as they approached Emily's favorite oak tree. A small crowd gathered. Neighbors, parents, joggers, people who had witnessed the attack and now stood with warm smiles and supportive nods. Emily wasn't invisible anymore. She was protected. Emily reached into her bag and pulled out a framed drawing. With trembling hands, she gave it to Mark. It showed him standing tall, badge glinting, shielding Emily and Riley with his body. Tears welled in Mark's eyes. "I don't deserve this," he whispered. "You do," Emily replied softly. "You saved our lives." Mark knelt and wrapped an arm around Riley, scratching behind his ears. "You're one brave dog," he said with a grin. Riley barked happily, nudging Emily's hand as the sun dipped warm and golden over the park. Emily smiled, because for the first time in a long time, she knew she wasn't alone.